Hi guys. So I have another story for you guys that I was pretty much taking my sweet old time to tell because this story in particular really got to me. The situation in general, the person really got to me. And I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should change his name. I am, but I'm going to change it to something that's not really that different from his name. Because people are going to know who I'm talking about. Well, people who know me are going to know who I'm talking about. So let's get started. So I met this guy named Ray when I was very young. We met in an AOL chat room. I think I was about 10 years old, 9, I think. Really young. I don't even remember. Like, no, I don't think I was that young. Maybe 12 or 11. I was really, really young, y'all. That's how long ago this was. And I met this guy and we were chatting in the AOL chat room, and he said something about a street that I used to live on. And I was like, wow, he said something about a street that I live on. And I was like, wow, I live on that street. And I was like, where do you stay? And he's like, I stay around the corner from such and such. I'm like, I stay around the corner from that place too. So he instant messaged me. We started talking and we sent each other pictures. And I didn't know who he was, and he didn't know who I was either. So after a while, we kind of figured out we lived across the street from each other and never spoke to each other. We met in an AOL chat room. And I was just like, wow, it must have been fate that we met. So at this point, he liked me when we first met, but I didn't like him. I just liked him as a friend. And we were friends for a very, very long time. We didn't have any type of relations. We didn't do anything like that. We were just friends, even though he wanted me. I didn't want him like that. So yeah, we ended up having a lot of traditions. We would go for Mexican Monday. Every Monday we would go to Flanagan's, take my nephew. We would always go and get nachos and order whatever we want to get all the time. We always went out to eat. We always went fishing and played video games. I always used to kick his ass in Street Fighter and in Marvel vs. Capcom. Couldn't nobody see me back then. Nobody could see me in those games, okay? Nobody. So I'm basically just telling y'all the origin of where my heart got broke. How much my heart got broken. So after a while, when I was an adult, Ray had a girlfriend, and I'm gonna call her Dee Dee. Ray had a girlfriend. Her name was Dee Dee. And Dee Dee did not like me because she hung around these girls who did not like me also. And I ended up just staying to myself. But they started ganging up a lot of people on me. You know, like nobody liked me. I was this, and that. And they would accuse me of these things I did not do. Mind you, me and Ray were strictly friends. We had no type of relationship period, right? Other than a friendship. So I started feeling left out when Ray was dating Dee Dee, because she didn't want him hanging around with me. And he would come and tell me, oh, Dee Dee doesn't like you being around me, and she doesn't want us hanging out, and this, that, and the third. And I was like, wow, really? You gonna choose a girl over your friend? Like, I've been your best friend ever since, you know, we met when I was really young. So they ended up breaking up. I don't know what happened, but I was about to say her real name. Dee Dee came and approached me one day and was trying to fight me over Ray. And I just was flipping out, because I'm just like, we don't even talk like that. You know what I mean? So my sister, I was fighting with my sister at the time, and she told Dee Dee that Ray left my house at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was true, but he did not come inside. He actually gave me a game. Since we lived across the street from each other, they just so happened to ride by and see him walking away from my house. He didn't come inside my house. He just gave me a game and walked back to his house. So it was this whole big thing, and it was all this drama, and I didn't like Dee Dee. So she didn't like me. She didn't even give me no fair chance to even try to like me, because she linked up with these girls who didn't like me. So therefore she did not like me, and that's just what it was. And I don't give a fuck, you know. I'm cool as fuck. You ain't gotta like me though. I mean, really. I'm a cool person, you know. I'm a cool person. You ain't gotta like me though. It's cool. I like myself. You know what I'm saying? I like myself. So anyway, I'm just being silly with that. Dee Dee and Ray had broken up, and years go by. I'm still friends with Ray at this point, and me and him started to date when I was in my 20s. Like, we started to seriously date when I was in my 20s. And it was weird for me at first, but it felt right. Like, I felt like I had my boyfriend as my best friend. You know, what more can a girl ask for? We like video games. We played video games together. We went fishing. We did all types of things together. And then we were a couple at the same time. So I was like, what more can I ask for? My best friend is my man. So things started going on. Like, I'm very superstitious. So one day I was at work. I used to work at Walmart. I was at work, and I was standing in the mirror, right? As I'm standing in the mirror, I turned around and saw that my belt, I missed a loop in my belt. And when I saw that, I was like staring at it, because I knew what it meant. They say it's an old superstition in the Bahamas. They say that if you miss a loop in your belt and you're a female, your boyfriend is cheating on you. That sounds so crazy, but I believed it, and it was true. So as soon as I seen that, I called him and I said, Ray. He's like, yeah, what's up? I said, are you cheating on me? And he was like, no. I'm like, I missed a loop in my belt. And he was like, that's the stupidest fucking shit I've ever heard. He starts going the fuck off on me. That's the stupidest fucking shit I ever heard. Oh my God, that is so stupid. And blah, blah, blah. And no, I'm not cheating on you. I'm like, okay. So I let it go. Let it slide. Shouldn't have, but I had no proof. So months go by. And Ray comes to my house and he's pissy ass drunk, right? I had just bought these new silk sheets that I put on my bed, and Ray came to my house pissy drunk. He fell over, he was throwing up. My mom was helping me with his big ass because he's 7 feet tall, y'all. He's 7 feet tall, no lie. His height is 6'7", I believe. 6'8", 6'8". He's very tall and he was very big. My mom was helping me with him, and he threw up on my sheets and everything like that. So his phone rung while he was passed out. His phone rung. I go to pick it up to answer it, and he snatched it from me. Like, he wasn't that drunk when the phone was ringing. So when he snatched it from me, when I saw the caller ID, it said Tasha F. Baby. That was the real name that it said there. And I was like, and it was 2 in the morning. And I'm like, who's that? Oh, that's just my friend, blah, blah, blah. So he ignored the call. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, why would he snatch that from me like that? You know, like, what's going on? So a few months after that, I found out I was pregnant. Found out I was pregnant, and I was so sick at work. I was always in the bathroom vomiting, throwing up, and it was bad. Like, I threw up in my department one time, and I used to work in the baby section, and I threw up all over the floor in my department. It was so freaking bad. So bad. So one day, Ray calls me on it was close to Valentine's Day, and he tells me he might not be able to spend Valentine's Day with me because he has to work. So I'm like, really? And so he's like, yeah, you know, I might have to work, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So Valentine's Day comes up. He came to my house. He was with me. And as he was leaving, when we went outside, we saw 2 girls keying his car and slashing his tires. And I'm just like, what's going on? Valentine's Day, this happened. No, oh God, I'm skipping the story. Hold up, I'm skipping it. So bad. I'm skipping it. So before Thanksgiving, I'm skipping the story, y'all. Before Thanksgiving came, I bought him a phone because his phone got messed up. So I bought him a sidekick because we both had sidekicks, but his messed up and he was using one of my spare phones I used to have. So he was at work, and I went to his job one day and I brought him the phone. So I said, let me see your phone. I didn't tell him that I bought him a sidekick though. So he gives me the phone. I go outside and I open the phone. It's like fate is with me sometimes with these phones. I opened it and it was a message there that said, I can't wait to feel your big arms around me, and I love you so much, and blah blah blah, just going on and on and on. And I'm just like in shock. And I went back in there and I was trying to keep my composure, and I told him, "Who's Tasha? Who is Tasha?" So I threw the phone at him and I left. And then I caught my best friend Camille. She came out there and I was so erratic. I started vomiting. I was throwing up and crying so hard because I was just disgusted by him. Just completely disgusted. I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken because my best friend did that to me after he had witnessed me being hurt by so many guys in the past. Me crying on his shoulder. He was there for everything, and then he turned around and do this exact same thing. So I went back inside with Camille, and she was like, "Get the phone." So I got the phone back. He tried to delete everything before I got the phone back. So when he deleted everything, this girl named Sarah messaged him. And I read through her messages, and it was the same thing. "I love you so much. You're my boo. This, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And I can't wait to see you." And then it was other messages from different girls. It was 6 different females in the phone. I called Tasha and I spoke to her, and I was like, "What's your relationship with Ray? Like, what's going on?" "Oh, I'm his girlfriend, and he comes to my house every night. I take him to work." I'm like, "How is he sleeping next to you every night and he sleep next to me every night?" It's like I didn't understand. It's like he would be at my house and then be at her house, be at my house, then be at her house. Mind you, I was pregnant at this point, which is why I was so disgusted and so sick with him, right? So I went back inside. He came out and I was just cussing and doing all type of shit. Like, I was so pissed off with him. Like, it was so bad. And later on, when he got off work, it was really cold. I talked to him, right? And when I came up to him, I slapped the shit out of him. Like, pop, slapped him. And he was like, "Are you gonna leave me?" And I said, "No," being a fucking dumbass, because at that point in my life, I couldn't see myself without talking to him, because since I was a preteen, okay, freaking youngster, I've been friends with him, and we've spoken every day since then, hung out at least every other day. So it was difficult for me to just let him go, even though I was so upset with him. I told him that I forgave him, but I didn't. I couldn't let it go that quick because he had had sex with these girls. He slept with these girls unprotected. So you can imagine what it did to me to find this out, right? So I had broke it off with him during Christmas, but I missed him a lot because it was difficult, like I said, because we talked every single day for years, and we're seeing each other almost every other day. Well, not almost, every other day we saw each other. So it was difficult. So I got back with him around New Year's, and Valentine's Day, no, around New Year's, he told me on January 20th, I remember it exactly. He said his friend Raz, I'm gonna call him that, said his friend was having a birthday party. So he went out to a birthday party and he's like, oh, we staying at the hotel. And I'm like, so it's just gonna be you and a bunch of niggas in a hotel? Yeah, it's me, Carlos, blah blah blah. It's, you know, we doing this for Raz's birthday. I'm like, a bunch of niggas in a hotel. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I tried calling him all night. He would pick up and hang up, send me the voicemail, or cut his phone off. And I was just pissed. I would be pissed because he is the reason why I ended up going crazy, because of how he did me. He broke my heart more than anybody in this world. Even my daughter's father. He took the cake because he was my best friend. And when you have somebody like that close to you just hurt you like that, it really hurts. It really hurts. So that following week, I was friends with his friend Raz on MySpace. These was in the MySpace era. And I saw Raz's birthday was a day after mine. March 6th was his birthday. My birthday's March 5th. So I called Ray. I'm like, so you told me last week you went to your friend Raz's birthday? And he was like, yeah, we went and did this, that, and then blah, blah, blah. I said, so I saw on MySpace that Raz's birthday is a day after mine. He's like, oh, we just celebrated everybody's birthday together because I'm not going to be able to do it and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you lying. Like, you are such a liar. Who were you with? No, I'm telling you, you can ask him. And he knew I wouldn't ask. So, yeah, I let it go. Then Valentine's Day comes up. Then we walk outside and some girls key in his car and flattening his tires. So I was pissed. I was mad at him because I'm like, who are they? Who are they? And then he got so mad that I tried to calm him down. So I was forgetting my emotions, even though I knew something was up with two females coming and flattening your tires on Valentine's Day. So that following day, on the 15th of February, I was at work and I was calling Ray all day. He didn't answer the phone. I'm calling him and calling him and calling him. He didn't answer the phone. I called him again. This time, the phone answered. And I heard him having sex. The sounds, the moans, I heard them talking. Who else do you have sex with? Oh, I don't have sex with nobody but you. And oh, I love you. You my one and only. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm just screaming at my job. I had to leave early because I was at work. I left early and I went right to his house. No, I went to my mom's job and I was crying. And I said, I heard him having sex and blah, blah. I'm going off because I'm calling him. He didn't answer the phone. So then I called my sister and I was telling her, I'm going to beat his ass and I'm doing this and blah, blah, blah. And she's, what about the baby? What about the baby? Because I was pregnant, like I told y'all. I was probably about 3 months pregnant at this point, maybe 4. I can't even remember. I was about 4 months. And I went to his house. His car was there. His car was there, but He wasn't. I knocked on the door and I was like, is Ray here? No, he's not here. So I'm like, okay. So I was at my other house because I didn't stay there anymore. I was at my other house and I'm sitting outside, and my cousin Randolph came and was like, you all right? Because I was crying. And I said, no. And he was like, what's wrong? I said, I called my boyfriend and I heard him having sex on the phone. And he was like, you all right? I said, no, I'm gonna beat his motherfucking ass when he get here. And he was like, well, call me if he hits you. I'm like, all right, but I don't need no backup. None. And so he was like, okay. So I called Ray and he answered the phone. This time I played like I was in pain. Oh, I'm bleeding. I need to go to the hospital. I can't drive myself. Please come and help me. And since I was already crying, I made it very believable. And I parked my car in my backyard and I sat there and waited for him to come. When I saw him pull up, I hid behind the tree and I watched him kiss this girl goodbye who dropped him off home. I watched him kiss her goodbye and I watched him walk in the house. And I was seething, y'all. I was furious at this point. So I called him again and I said, I'm out here, come outside. He came outside and stopped when he saw me in no car. So I said, where were you? I was at my dad's. And I was like, no, you weren't. Where were you? I was at my dad's. I said, well, I called you and I heard you fucking. And he was like, what? You know, that lion face. What? And I said, I heard you, Ray. I heard you. And he was like, I was at my dad's. And I started flipping out. And I screamed, you think you just gonna keep making a fucking fool out of me? People outside, I took my box cutter, threw at him. I was punching him. I swung on him. He saw it coming, so he backed up and was trying to run in the house, and I just was punching the shit out of his head. I knew the punches wouldn't do anything to his body because I told y'all he was 7 feet fucking tall and he was like 300 pounds and something, you know. So I knew the punches wasn't going to do nothing to his body, but I was punching the shit out of his head and kicking him. Everything. I was furious. And he ran in the house. He was on the ground and I was punching him and he's trying to get in the house. And when he got in the house, I turned around and I was just walking in the pace and I just punched the back of his window and it shattered a little bit. And I just kept walking. And then I got my car and I pulled up next to his car and I got my bat and I beat his truck with a bat. And then I got in the car and I went home. And I was so furious. I didn't even realize my hand was broken from hitting the car. I didn't realize I was bleeding. I had ended up miscarrying. I didn't realize any of this stuff. So after that, that was it for us. We were done. That was it. That was the last straw. I took him back after he cheated on me. Not to mention, he did it again. And he married the girl that he was cheating on me with last time. Anna was her real name. He married her. And I see her a lot. And she looks at me like she knows who I am. And I look at her like, Bitch, what's your problem? You don't want none of this, okay? She trifling to me because she knew about me. It's not like he was playing her and she didn't know. No, she knew about me. And it's funny because I know so many things that he's said about her. He's told me now they have a son together. They got married and they have a child. When I found out about his child, he didn't tell me. Because we tried to be friends after I had broke it off with my daughter's father. When I was pregnant, actually, and we tried to be friends, and it just didn't work because he always lied. He always lied, and I always cussed him out because he hurt me so freaking much. Like, it was a lot for me to just let him go like that because we knew each other for so long. We spoke to each other every day and saw each other every other day since I was a kid, like maybe 10 or 11. I think I was 10, maybe 10 or 11 years old, you know. And it was hard for me. So every time I spoke to him, I cussed him out. And then when I found out about him having him having a baby, he tried to lie and tell me, oh, I just found out and I didn't sign the birth certificate yet and I have to get a paternity test because I don't know if the baby is mine and all this garbage. Then I found out again because I looked on her page and I saw that it was pictures of her Facebook, on her Facebook page. It was pictures of him signing the birth certificate. He was there at the birth. Okay, it was pictures of him there. And I messaged him again. I said, you such a fucking liar. Why do you lie about everything? Like, it's pictures of you signing the damn birth certificate and you telling me you didn't and you don't know if he's yours? Really? Then you telling me, oh, how much it's hurting me that you're not with me, and my life is so different. I feel like half of me is gone. I don't deserve to be with nobody. But you got married and had a child with the girl who you cheated on me with. But you feel so guilty. Really? You feel that guilty? Okay. But yeah, that was a hell of a story, and if you watched the whole thing, congrats to you, because it was long and jumbled. And yeah, to this day I don't talk to him. He did write me on Facebook, and I'm gonna read you the message that he wrote me. I'm gonna read it to y'all because I don't care. Hold up. I wrote to him that I tried to forgive you and you constantly lied to me. You lied about your wife, you lied about your son. We spent almost every day together. You were my best friend, my everything, and you stabbed me in the heart. I was completely heartbroken after what you did to me, and I thought I would never get over it. I am still dealing with a lot of that hurt that you caused me. And then he wrote back, I completely understand you and didn't tell you because I didn't want to hear any more hurt in your voice. But losing you is the biggest regret of my life. I just don't feel like myself anymore. I wake up with you on my mind and I'm depressed about how things are between you and I. Then he goes, I swear all that I wrote is real and from the bottom of my heart. Harriet, you don't know how much guilt I live with every day. I miss you so much every day, and the more I think about it, the more of a hole I have in my stomach from just thinking about how things used to be so good between us, and I'm an idiot for doing to you what I did. An idiot. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I really go through life rough. I wish you were back in my life. This does faze me. Losing you was the worst thing ever. If I can only take it all back, and I only hope one day you can find it in your heart to forgive me. I didn't even respond after he wrote me that because I was just like, you so full of shit, Tay. Yes, that's his real name, Tay. I said, you so full of shit. All the shit you tell me is just pure shit. Pure fecal fucking matter. All bullshit what you tell me. All of it. I don't believe any of it. Every time I see him, like, it was a point where I used to go to his job because he worked at Publix, and I would see him in the frozen food section. He'd be bent down putting shit away, and I'd be thinking, man, I just want to put my foot in his back and just kick his ass down. Like, that's how angry I was with him, and I recently was able to let it go. That's how long I held on to that hurt, because of what he did. He hurt me the most out of everybody because he was my best friend, and he just threw our friendship away. It wasn't even just a relationship. He threw our complete friendship away, drove me crazy. I acted so fucking crazy, y'all. It's not even a joke. I always wondered if he was cheating, who he was with, what he was doing. And that's just like, once you cheat, that's the end of the relationship. Whether or not you forgive that person or not, once you cheat on somebody, that's it. That's the end of the relationship. I should have ended our relationship when I first found out he cheated. But because I loved him and he was my best friend, and it was so much invested, that I kept taking him back and giving him chances that he did not deserve. And that's why I was so hurt for a long time, because of what he did, you know. Um so yeah, I said his real name. I don't give a fuck. Y'all could show him, because I know somebody gonna see this and probably send it to him, but I really could give two goddamn shits on a monkey. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. I send it to him. Shit, he know what the fuck he did to me. And it's like, people think he's so trustworthy and he's just this great guy, but he is just a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, I don't see how anybody could trust somebody like that with the way that he is. He's just, hold up. And oh, I wrote this here. I have dreamed for a long time, y'all. I had dreams of me fighting him, like beating him up, just punching him, kicking him, stomping him. That's how, man, that's how fucking angry I was with him for doing what he did to me. I wrote here, you have no idea how much that shit impacted me. I feel like you completely betrayed me. I have dreams of beating your ass because I have so much resentment and anger towards you. And he go about his life like shit is good with your son and your wife, while my fiance and I can't get right, because I was having some issues at that point about trusting people. And I just recently got over that shit. Like, here I am fucking 3 relationships later from being with him, and I just got over that bullshit. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy. My mom, oh, here is something else I wrote. My mom was even willing to co-sign a car for him. My mom loved him too. When I told her what he did, she didn't believe me. She thought I was lying. And I was like, no, he did. He did it. She didn't believe it. My mom, he was like a son to my mom because, again, we hung out every day. He was always at my house. We was always playing video games. And, you know, you would have thought that would have been a relationship that was blessed, but it wasn't. He was such a liar, a betrayer, a deceiver. He's so much. And yeah, that's it, because I was not expecting this video to be this long. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.